after the Access Hollywood tape, I've been here through so many
but this is not
ups
that.
and downs.
This is about people.
I get it. The numbers will improve. I guarantee you. Over time, things are going to start happening.
Well, but I think there's two questions, David, and you know this. It's over how much time and how much more pain are people going to have to feel? Because here's the thing. When you have a headline from the Wall Street Journal that says, worst April since the Great Depression, and you have...
We're going to take a quick look at Trump's horrible current approval ratings and horrible job he's doing. Let's get into it.
There were a lot of them as he took office. Where do they stand at the 100-day mark? My panel joins me now, and I do want to start with the economic numbers that we're seeing in our new poll out this morning. They're pretty brutal. 64% of Americans disapprove of President Trump's handling of inflation. 65% disapprove of his handling of tariffs. 61% disapprove of his overall handling of the economy. On immigration, a majority of Americans, 53%, disapprove as well. You know, David Urban, I'm coming to you first.
Shocking. Shocking. Look, the numbers suck. Those are terrible numbers, right? We don't want to see those numbers. But again, snapshot in time. There's some other polling out that's from the Washington Post that says 55% of Americans view the president has done the right thing to address major problems in America. So you can, polls are what you want. You can see what you want to see in polls, but these numbers aren't great. I would say that I'm sure the Trump administration is looking at these. They're in it for the long. They're in this for the long run, and we've been through this. Look, how many times, Dan, have you and I and Karen and others sat here and said, Trump's dead, and then he's like, I'm not dead yet, and then he continues. Listen, he continues. I was here, after the Access Hollywood tape. I've been here through so many.
But this is not that. This is about people's.
I get it, but the numbers will improve. I guarantee you. Over time, things are going to start happening.
Well, but I think there's two questions, David, and you know this. It's over how much time and how much more pain are people going to have to feel? Because here's the thing. When you have a headline from the Wall Street Journal that says, worst April since the Great Depression, and you have business leaders, Wall Street, small businesses, farmers saying, help, help, help. You're tanking our economy. This is too much chaos. This is too much pain. And let's be honest, he did campaign on tariffs, but he didn't say there'd be pain. And now people are living it and realizing, and by the way, this is before we even get to the budget and whatever cuts may end up in the final version of the budget and the impact that people will feel on that. So I think part of what you're seeing is people feel betrayed. They feel like you said you were going to deal with inflation and costs, and you have not done it.
I'm going to cut in real quick here. His numbers are horrible, but they should be worse. Him to have 30-some%. I know it's just those fools who will follow him no matter what, and these apologists like David Urban and the other lady over there. It's a blatant, horrible disgrace what this man is doing. Let's get back into it.
I mean, I don't know if it's quite. I wish that it was that reflective. I really do think, though, we're in April, right? And we are so far from an election. Now, if we were 3 weeks out, I'd be saying this is a different story, but we're not. Remember, 3 months ago, where the economy was, and everybody was singing praises and excited. It will change so many times between now and next month or 2 months. So I don't think we're quite to that place where people are saying we feel betrayed. I think there's still a lot of opportunity for this administration to make changes. They will make many changes. The one thing I've observed is volatility is part of what they do. The real question to me, will this be lasting or not, is what does Congress do about it? Like you said, I do think there is proof in the pudding that, they're the heat shield. The congressional Republicans are the heat shield for what this administration is doing. And there's a lot of heat and there's a lot of friction. But the reality is what voters are really going to think about is what they actually pass into law.
Well, let's turn to the issue, or at least focus in on the issue of immigration, because this number, we mentioned it, but I just want to drill down on it once again. Trump's handling of immigration, 53% say they disapprove. And this is an area, Congresswoman, where, he says this is why he won. I don't know. I still think it was the economy. It's probably obviously a combination of both. Yasmin Ansari, I should say, welcome. And you were a part of the sort of delegation that went to El Salvador. So you definitely have immigration and what is going on with regard to the courts on your mind. What do you make of these numbers?
I think that it is the natural response to the overcorrection of this administration. They're taking it too far when it comes to their immigration policies. I think, Trump pledged mass deportations, which of course I am vehemently against. But now when you have a situation where the Supreme Court of the United States is making a ruling and the president is openly defying that, and we are really honing into this issue of due process, because I think at the core of it, Americans, whether you're a Republican, independent, Democrat, believe in fundamental rights we have as Americans, including due process. I think that's making a big difference. I represent Arizona, obviously a state that's on the front lines of this issue. And whether I speak with Democrats or, more moderate Republicans, I think people are very concerned about this authoritarian nature of this administration.
I'm going to be short here. Even this guy's immigration numbers were low. He always had a positive in that area. I guess, even some of these people are coming to the conclusion, that, hey, I don't want to be picked up, randomly picked up and tossed in a van with no due process and sent to some horrible prison in El Salvador. Even some of the writers had to come to that conclusion. Good thing, too. If not, we were in more trouble than I already think we are. So, this is a total authoritarianism. And it's pretty obvious, anyone with eyes and ears. And these apologists, man. It's the job you don't hear and apologize, but they need to realize that they're doing damage by doing that. And the lady, the Republican side, the lady that's, speaking, apologizing for Republicans, for Trump, it's insane, You can't keep doing this. You're right, 3 months, yeah. But 3 months, he's done more damage, probably irreparable damage, anyone has ever done. But that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.